Hello, everybody. So happy to see you. I love that you're here. My name is Dr. Cammy. I want to welcome you. Just take a nice deep breath. Let yourself be present to all these beautiful people. If you are wanting to form a connection, please write in the chat what you are hoping to get out of this meeting tonight. That can be something like, I'm hoping to leave with joy and purpose. I'm hoping to leave with a sense of hope. I'm wanting to learn a new skill. Allow yourself to be present to what you really want to leave tonight with. It might seem far-fetched or unexpected. It's all welcome here. All right. Just want to make sure that chat is working. Okay. Hello, everyone. I am so glad that you are here today. I've been thinking about this moment, about you and what brought you here. And now we finally get to do this work together. I also know that this room holds pain, a lot of pain. I know that you almost didn't click to join. I know that you're here with a shattered heart, wondering if anything can help, if you'll ever get relief. But the fact that you're here anyway, that is the beginning of healing. It's the beginning of strength. And you are responsible for taking that step. So before we do anything else, I want you to pause with me for just one moment. Take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Nice long exhale. And please hear these words. You are not alone in this. I promise you, you are really not alone. You're safe here in this space, in this moment. And I am going to walk you through this every step of the way. Whatever you're feeling, however you're falling apart right now, it all makes sense. All of it. Checking the phones at 3 a.m., it makes sense. The crying in the car so your kids won't see, it makes sense. That feeling like you're going absolutely crazy, you are not going crazy, friend. You're having a completely normal response to something that should never have happened. So be here with me, just as you are, messy, hurting, maybe still in your pajamas. I do not care. The only thing I care about is that you made it here at all. You're exactly where you need to be right now. And we are going to figure this out together. Also, please be fully present and do not worry about taking a lot of notes or remembering every detail. We are recording this masterclass and you will receive it in your inbox as soon as we are done. For those of you who don't know me yet, hello. So good to be here. My name is Dr. Cammy Froude, and I'm a licensed couples and trauma therapist with a PhD in human development and family studies. I'm certified in EMDR, trauma therapy, and the Gottman method for couples, two of the most rigorous evidence-based approaches to healing relational trauma. I'm also the author of Healing Trauma Together. It's a guide for couples navigating the long road back from complex trauma or complex PTSD. Betrayal recovery, it's really become the heart and soul of my clinical work. And I have had the honor of sitting with hundreds of couples navigating infidelity. And I care about this work deeply and personally. I come to this not just as a clinician, I also know what it's like to love someone whose choices have broken your heart. And I know what it takes to build something safe and something steady on the other side of that heartbreak. My own healing happened inside of my partnership, not in spite of it. And that's part of why I believe so fiercely in what's possible for you. Now, even though I'm a licensed therapist, today we're in what I call teaching territory, not therapy territory. I'm here really as a relationship educator for you, sharing what I have seen work and what does not work when it comes to healing from betrayal trauma. Before I go further, let me just share why this work matters so much to me. I'll never forget my first session with a couple. We'll just, for now, like call them Maria and David. Maria had discovered David's affair 6 weeks earlier, and she was a super successful executive, and she's like the kind of person who just like commanded a boardroom, made million-dollar decisions daily. Everyone came to her for advice. But when she sat down in my office, she told me something, and I was just like stopped cold. She said, Cammy, I stood in the grocery store yesterday and I was just going back and forth trying to figure out what type of bread to get for my family, like a routine everyday thing. I couldn't even trust myself to pick out a loaf of bread. I don't even know who I am anymore, is what she said. So when I look back at Maria, she was living in what I call the space between. So it's this space between who you are and then who you're becoming. Maria, like, she was not broken. She was becoming. And I worked with Maria and David for a year. And 6 months in, something shifted. Maria came in and said, I realized something. I didn't just survive the affair. I found parts of myself that I didn't even know existed. I'm setting boundaries that I have never set before. I'm asking for what I need. I'm a stronger, clearer, more myself person than I've ever been. And that has nothing to do with whether David does his work or doesn't do his work. And it's just, it was such a meaningful moment. It's like, that's what's possible in this space between finding yourself and who you are. And here's what I've learned after years of doing this work is that the deepest healing, it doesn't happen in the mind. It happens in the body. It happens from the neck down in the like messy animal wisdom of your nervous system, learning. Yes, slowly, painfully, beautifully, nonetheless, that it's safe to come home to yourself once again. If you're here, I'm guessing life is very upside down right now. You toss and turn all night. Your mind races at a million miles an hour with like all the what ifs. Even though you know that it's making it worse, you're checking phones and email accounts at 2 a.m. You may have become someone you don't even recognize. You might be acting obsessively, desperately, totally unlike the person you know you are, and I know you are. You torture yourself reviewing the details like that ultimately devastate you. But on the other hand, I understand. Like it feels like you need to know those details just to feel safe. But then when you know them, you're anything but safe. You go through emails, texts, and messages just like over and over and over, like a treadmill, trying to find solace like in the context of pure chaos. And then like that fear starts to broaden and you start questioning like every moment, right, from the last many years wondering, like in the context of this betrayal, like what was actually real? What was a lie? How do I sort it out? Every birthday, every anniversary, everything becomes, like, how do I describe it? Like everything becomes tinted with this trauma. Everything becomes tinted with the betrayal because you're questioning what was actually ever real. Like, was there ever a solid ground that you were really standing on? Every moment your partner stepped out for a quick business call, everything is under a microscope. Everything is up for scrutiny. This is like emotional quicksand. So, if any of this resonates, I just need you to, like, I hear this. Like, I have to have you hear this. It is a normal response. These things are a normal response to betrayal. You are not losing your mind. Your nervous system, it's in fact doing exactly what it was designed to do. When your safety is threatened, your body is trying to protect you. It's doing exactly what bodies have done for millions of years. When the bond that we depend on for survival is threatened, maybe the betrayal just happened. Or maybe you're finally admitting that what you did years ago wasn't actually healing. Maybe you're fighting to save your relationship, or you're just like, I'm done. I've packed my bags. Bye. Wherever you are in this cycle, in the continuum of healing, of leaving, of repairing, you are in the right place. I will help you through. We will get through it together. There's a Chicana theorist who I love. Her name is Gloria Anzaldúa. I was actually introduced to her in high school, and I feel so lucky about that. And she gave us a word for exactly where you are right now, and it's called Nepantla. It's an indigenous Mexican term, and it's the space between two worlds. It's it's like this beautiful concept where it's a place that you're no longer where who you were, but you're not yet who you're becoming. And so you're in this beautiful liminal space called Nepantla. You wake up in Nepantla every morning. You are no longer the person who trusted without question, but you haven't yet stepped into whoever you're becoming on the other side of this whole process of this entire infidelity. And as disorienting and painful as this space is, it's also sacred ground. This is where transformation really happens. So today, we are going to talk about why betrayal hits so hard, why it feels so different from other kinds of pain and trauma. I'm going to share the three biggest mistakes that I see people make when they're recovering from betrayal and they just can't seem to get to the other side of suffering. So these are the mistakes that keep you stuck in what's called hypervigilance, the constant repeating, surveying, looking around. These are the things that actually prevent you from ever feeling safe again. And then I'm going to walk you through what actually works. This is a trauma-informed approach that treats betrayal as what it really is, a nervous system injury that needs specialized healing. Back to my philosophy. There is a French philosopher named Gaston Bachelard, another person who I love so much. And I was introduced to, again, right around that like high school, college age. And Gaston Bachelard wrote, "The house we were born in is physically inscribed in us." And what he meant is this. Our first experiences of safety, of being held and protected, they literally live in our bodies forever. And when betrayal happens, it's like so much deeper than like someone broke a promise, someone broke a vow. Yes, true. And it's that house that you built together. It's the space where you learned to feel safe again as an adult. That house collapses. So, along with the promise, along with the vow, something else collapses. And suddenly you're left trying to find your way home in rubble. Where's the direction? Where do you go? Like, it's just like you're left not knowing like how to move through something so devastating. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. We're learning how to rebuild the house of your body, the house of your spirit, the house of your nervous system. So by the end of our time together today, you will understand why you feel the way that you feel. You'll know what to do next. And if you want more support after this, I have got you. I've got you covered. I am here for you. But first, I want to get into what actually works. So those were the roadblocks. So let's actually talk about what works. Before we go deeper, if you're in crisis right now, if you're having thoughts of harming yourself or someone else, reach out. More people than you think have these thoughts. I have had phenomenal experiences in my practice with people that I love, texting 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can also contact a licensed mental health provider. And of course, you can go to the emergency room. There is no shame in getting the help that you need, particularly when you are in such a fragile place in your life. What I'm sharing today, it's such a nice complement to traditional therapy. It's definitely not a replacement for it. So you also might be wondering if it's too late, if it's too soon or too soon for you. Here's what I know. Every single day that you stay in this dysregulated state, your nervous system is learning that love is not safe. This is not just about your current relationship. It's about every single future connection you will have, including, and I would argue, most importantly, the relationship that you have with yourself. Your body holds memory, not just cognitive memory from the neck up, but cellular memory, somatic memory from the neck down. It lives. It's so amazing. Like it lives in your tissues, in your shoulders, like the way you clench your jaw, all these little ways that our body holds information, holds data about our safety, our childhood, our trauma, the way people treat us. Right now, your body, it's writing a story. It's writing the story. Love is dangerous. Intimacy is a threat. Opening my heart means getting hurt again. And if you don't help your body write a different story, what happens is it becomes the template for every future relationship that you have from this moment forward. I don't want that for you. I want something different for you. I want you to walk into a story of safety and trust and healing with yourself and with others. Your healing matters today. Whatever your circumstances, 2 weeks in or 2 years in, the work matters today, right here. This betrayal invited you. I know, not willingly and not by choice. I get that. But it invited you nonetheless into a deeper relationship with yourself, with your own body, with your capacity to survive the exact thing that you thought would destroy you. I imagine for many of you, you are in disbelief that this happened. And you are in disbelief that you are still getting up every morning. You are still doing what you need to do, putting one foot in front of the other. You are already going through this. There is no question about that. But here's what you do get to choose. Will this let you, will you let this betrayal, this trauma, will you let this break you open? Or are you just going to let it break you? Remove your ability to trust. Let go of your faith in humanity and love and connection and care. No matter where you are in this process, how long it's been, whether you're reconciling or you're separating, this work really matters because you matter. I don't know you, and I'm telling you, you matter to me because of what you're going through. And I've dedicated my life to helping you move through periods of trauma, betrayal, and other ways that people have harmed you. Your healing does not depend on anyone else's choices. It only depends on your own choices. Let me take a minute and go scientific with you. I want to explain what's happening in your nervous system. Because once you understand the neurobiology, everything else starts to make more sense when you can hang your hat on this. So when you discovered the betrayal, your amygdala, which is basically your brain's alarm system, went into overdrive and it got stuck there. It can't tell the difference between what happened then and what's happening now. Everything feels like danger. Meanwhile, your hippocampus, which is the part of your brain that it organizes memories and it helps you understand time. It situates your life and your brain in time. It's basically gone offline. So that's why you feel like you're living in a fog. That's why you can't remember if something happened Tuesday or 2 weeks ago. That's why you're triggered today about something that may have happened weeks, months, or years ago. This is why you keep obsessing over the same details over and over and over again. You need a narrative about your life. And when someone has cheated, or if you have cheated, the narrative of your life has big gaps and holes. And what people do when their life stops making sense, they make things up because they need something to understand their lived experience. And then your prefrontal cortex, right here, which is essentially like your executive command center, it handles logic, planning, decision making, emotional regulation. It's like totally flooded and overwhelmed. So, this is why you feel like you've lost yourself. So, think about these different components of your brain interacting. Your amygdala is going off like crazy. Your brain doesn't have any understanding of what time in your life it is or what time of day really it is. And then the center that's supposed to plan and make sense of things is offline. Yeah, that's why. Like, that's why you're making decisions you normally wouldn't make. That's why you don't feel like yourself. That's why everything is foggy. You have not lost yourself. Your brain is just in survival mode. Only survival matters for your brain right now. And this is not just psychological, it's physiologic. Your brain literally thinks you're in danger, and your body is responding as such. You are not crazy, and you are certainly not weak. Your body is doing what it evolved to do. The problem is that the strategies that your body's using to keep you safe, they're also the same strategies that really keep you stuck. Um, they're outdated. They're not adaptive to what's going on for you right now. So, before we go deeper into what's keeping you stuck, I want to give you an actual experience. You know how everybody these days is like mind body connection? We need to connect the mind and the body. It lives in your body. And you're just like, okay, I get it. But what does that actually mean? What does it mean to connect your mind and your body? I'm going to show you, and you're going to feel it. And I mean, I want that for you. I want your mind and your body to be connected. I want you to have a few moments of peace. So this is not theory. This is something you can feel in your body right now. Your nervous system is probably doing something it's been doing constantly since discovery. It's scanning. Scanning for lies, scanning for inconsistencies, scanning for proof. By the way, this is also called hypervigilance. And this hypervigilance or scanning, it's exhausting you, but you can't stop. Do you notice that? You hate it and you need it and it doesn't help you and you can't stop because stopping feels dangerous. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a reverse Uno card. We are going to work with it instead of against it. So right now, I want you to look around the room and I want you to find the exits. Look for the doors, look for the windows. Just notice where they are. So, for example, in my room right now, I have a door behind me. I have a window in front of me. I have a window to my right. Okay? Door, door, window. I want you to name them out loud. I have a door behind me, a window in front of me, and a window to my right. Go ahead and do the same. Yes, say them out loud. I'm a wait. It makes a difference. Now I want you to say safety behind me, safety in front of me, safety to my right. Okay, now you try. You got it. Okay. So I'm asking you to do this because your brain needs to know it can leave. Trapped animals, they panic. Animals with escape routes can actually regulate. You've been feeling trapped, trapped in the relationship, trapped in the discovery, trapped in not knowing what's true. But right now in this room, you are not trapped and your body needs that information. So now that your brain remembers it's not trapped, let's do the second part of this exercise. All right. So our brain and our body is remembering, okay, yeah, okay, we're not trapped. We know our exits. We know what's going on. We have agency. We have free will. We can get up and walk out of this webinar at any time. Yes, I love that for you. Free will and agency. Now, here's the second part. I want you to find the two farthest corners of the room. So here's my far corner, left, and here's my other far corner here. Okay? These are my far corners. And I want you to let your eyes move from corner to corner really slowly. So watch me. Far corner here, far corner here, far corner here, far corner here. Okay? Don't rush it. Now I want you to try. So take a deep breath. Let your eyes settle. Yep, just kind of do like a settled gaze. You got it. Nice job. And I want you to go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Now, bring your attention to the space behind you. You don't have to turn around. Just notice your back is protected. There's a wall, perhaps. There's a chair, something solid. Since discovery, your nervous system has been acting like threat could come from anywhere. From a text, from a look, from a lie you haven't yet caught. But right now, in this actual room, you can account for the space around you, and you just did. Exits, corners, what's behind you. Now close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out. Place your hands on your heart. Hello, heart. Beautiful heart. Feel its beat. Yes, that's you. Come on back. So this lateral eye movement, like going corner to corner like that, it's was doing something really specific. It's activating the same pathways that we use in EMDR therapy. You were telling your brain, I can survey the environment. I'm oriented in space. I'm not stuck in a memory loop. That's called orientation. And it's one of the fastest ways to tell your survival brain that you're in the present, not reliving the past. Now, notice, did your breathing shift at all? Did your shoulders drop even a little bit? That's not relaxation. That's your brain receiving data that it's not in immediate danger and adjusting accordingly. The scanning didn't stop because you forced it. It quieted because you gave it a job it could actually complete. Survey the room, confirm safety, done. Anytime you need to remember yourself, your safety, and your grounding, use this strategy. Ready? We just did it. Locate the exits. Name the exits. Locate the corners. Track the corners. Locate the exits. Name the exits. Locate the corners. Track the corners. This is the kind of work that we do in phase one of healing from betrayal. Precise, targeted practices that work with, not against, your neurobiology. Your nervous system does not need to be soothed. It needs to be reoriented to the present moment, where the affair is not happening, where you have choices, where you're not trapped. Now, I want to share with you the three biggest mistakes that I see people make when they're trying to heal from betrayal. Please hear me. These are completely understandable responses. They make total sense, but they keep you stuck in trauma instead of moving through it. If you see yourself in some of these, take it as a learning moment. Let go of the shame. Just learn. As Maya Angelou said, do the best you possibly can until you know better. And then when you know better, you do better. So here's mistake number one. You think If you can just understand why it happened, get all the details, figure out the timeline, then you'll finally feel better. So you dig, you analyze, you create timelines, check phones, replay conversations. And sometimes this feels necessary. Sometimes it may even feel good, like scratching an itch, like you're taking back control, like you're finally getting the truth. But here's what's actually happening. You're feeding the hypervigilance. Remember what we talked about before, the hypervigilance of checking, scanning, surveilling. Every time you check, every time you search, every time you question, you're teaching your nervous system that it needs to stay on high alert to keep you safe. Trauma lives in your body, not in your thoughts. Your nervous system does not need more information. It needs to feel safe. And you cannot think your way into feeling safe. A client, I'll call her Jennifer, has been checking her husband's locations so many times a day, dozens of times. Within 3 weeks of doing the body-based practices in phase one, she realized she'd gone 2 full days without checking once. Not through willpower, but because her body had finally felt safe enough to rest. She told me, Cammy, it's like my body finally believed me that I was going to be okay, no matter what. And once it believed that, my body could finally rest. Mistake number two, you delete the tracking apps. You white knuckle your way through it. You tell yourself, just get over it and trust again. I'm not looking back. I'm not thinking about it anymore. I am just going to move forward. And I'm going to trust no matter what. Okay, here's the truth there. Trust is something that your body feels and you cannot force it. It has to be collaborative with your body. It's a felt sense that develops over thousands of very small moments, like in a relationship that are kind of threaded together to comprise the fabric of your partnership. When you force trust before your nervous system is really ready, you're overriding your body's alarm system. And this creates a terrible internal conflict. And it can actually deepen the trauma response and make things even worse. My client Marcus tried for months to choose trust by willpower and willpower alone. Every single night, he'd lie awake, convinced that his wife was lying. The forced trust made him feel worse, not better. And after working through the program, he told me, trust is not something I decided with my mind. It grew back slowly, like new skin after a burn. I did not force it. I just created the conditions for it to heal naturally. And when trust came back, it was real because my body was actually on board, is what he told me. Mistake number three, you're waiting for apologies. You're waiting for answers. You're waiting for undeniable proof that it's safe to feel better. But when betrayal happens, you lose trust in your partner and you lose trust in yourself. You lose trust in your judgment, your ability to discern, your intuition. The deeper wound, I would argue, is a loss of trust in yourself particularly when you make your healing dependent on someone else's choices. This essentially gives away your power. You stay stuck waiting, unable to move forward until that person does exactly what you need, which may or may never happen, or it may not happen when you need it to happen. My client, Jake, spent months waiting for the perfect apology from his partner. 8 weeks into the program, something in him shifted. He told me, my healing is mine. It's not dependent on my partner's apologies or timeline. Whether or not they do their work, I'm going to be okay. He said, the moment I realized my healing was mine, I got my power back. And ironically, that's when our relationship started to improve because I wasn't coming from desperation anymore. I was coming from choice. When I think about these three mistakes, I think all of them have the same root. And it is trying to fix the situation before actually healing the injury. So maybe you think of it like running a marathon on a broken ankle. The comparison is your nervous system is injured. And until you address the injury, you can't really think clearly. You can't properly discern. You can't make good decisions. You can't really heal. So, naturally, if these are the mistakes, I'm guessing you're all thinking, okay, we get it. We know the mistakes. Like, what actually works? What do we need to do? How do we move through? I'm with you. I am here with you. And how we move through is a specific framework. It's one that works with your biology, not against it. So here's what's important to understand. Betrayal doesn't just break trust in your partner, it breaks trust in yourself, in your own judgment, in your intuition, in your ability to actually know what's real. That is the deeper wound here. Not only how could they do this to me, but how did I not know? How can I ever trust myself again? Pima Chodron, he talks about groundlessness. And this concept of groundlessness, it is such an apt comparison for, I would imagine, like what you're going through. And I'm eager to hear if this is the case. This idea of groundlessness, think about it. It's when the earth drops out right from underneath you, and everything that you thought was solid reveals itself to be just like space. The only way, Pima Chodron says, the only way, she says, to learn to live is without ground. That's the only way we can move through. We have to trust the falling itself. We can't keep wishing and hoping for the ground to come back. The ground is gone and we are now falling. I'm here with you in the fall. This is not about accepting infidelity as okay. Infidelity is wrong, period. What this is about is accepting that you cannot control what happened. You can only control how you choose to relate to what happened, how you choose to heal from what happened. And this is why we need a framework that's evidence-based and works with your body and works with your mind. So let me share that with you now. What works is treating betrayal as what it actually is. It's a nervous system injury that heals in very particular stages. And I am definitely a step skipper. I like to get things done quickly. I like to get things done as fast as possible. If anyone here is like me, I get it. And bad news, you cannot skip steps. You can't rush the process. But when you follow the framework, healing will happen. That's the good news. It's not just coping, it's not just surviving, it's actually healing. So phase one is stabilization. Before you can process what happened, before you can make any big decisions, your nervous system needs to remember what safety feels like. It's not telling yourself, I'm safe, I'm safe. It's not looking in the mirror and doing an affirmation, I'm safe, I feel safe. No, your body actually has to know it. So I want you to think of it like a broken bone. So first, we need to stabilize the bone. That makes sense, right? I mean, we have to set it, you have to cast it, and then you have to keep it still. Your nervous system is fractured right now. So phase one is really the cast. When you complete this phase, you start, for example, sleeping through the night without checking phones. You can make decisions from clarity instead of panic. You know, those like compulsive monitoring quiets, like not because you forced it, but because your body finally feels safe enough to be still and to be quiet. Like you don't always have to be checking and checking and checking. You're finally safe enough to rest. Phase two is where we help your brain actually metabolize what happened, not reliving it, metabolizing it, integrating it. Again, we use a metaphor. Think of it like digestion. Right now, this experience is stuck in your system, undigested. Phase two helps it kind of move through you instead of staying like stuck and lodged inside of you. This is also where you work with the parts of yourself that feel at war, the part that still loves them, the part that's furious, the part that blames yourself. All of these parts are valid and they all have wisdom. Rainer Rilke, she wrote, perhaps all the dragons in our lives are princesses who are only waiting to see us act just once with beauty and with courage. Your rage, your fear, and your hypervigilance. Just stick with me when I say this. Look out for the resistance. They are not your enemies. Your rage, your fear, your anxiety, your hypervigilance, they are not your enemies. They're your protectors who are still fighting a war that is over. We embrace them and we love them and accept them. And that's in fact how those parts become more quiet. They feel safer. They put down their weapons because they've been protecting you from a war that's long been over. Phase two helps them understand they can rest. So, phase three is where you discover who you are on the other side of betrayal, not who you were before. That person has changed, and that's okay. This is where you reclaim your sense of safety and your sense of self, your capacity for joy, your ability to trust, not blindly. I never want anyone to blindly trust, ever. I want you to trust wisely, not blindly. Your power to choose the life that you want. This is where you make clear decisions about your relationship from a regulated, grounded place, not from panic or desperation. So, when think of these three phases as a whole, stabilize, process, and reconnect. This is the roadmap that hundreds of people have used to find their way back to themselves. David White, another, said like I was introduced to David White after college when I was in graduate school, a beautiful narrative therapist who I cared so deeply about. He unfortunately passed away. But he introduced me to David White, and this is one of my favorite parts of a poem that David wrote. He said, the cure for exhaustion is not necessarily rest. The cure for exhaustion is wholeheartedness. But just like consider that for a minute. The cure for exhaustion is not necessarily rest. It may be wholeheartedness. Right now, I know that you are exhausted. I get it. Like you're half in, you're trying to, like I don't want this to sound like a criticism. I don't mean you're half in. I mean, you're in two different places simultaneously. You're trying to heal, but you're staying hypervigilant and anxious. You're trying to make decisions, thoughtful, intentional decisions, but you're in complete crisis mode. Healing requires wholeheartedness. And this framework gives you permission to commit fully to the process of coming back to yourself. This approach is grounded in decades of neuroscience and trauma research, and it draws from the work of Bessel van der Kolk. I know many of you have probably read his book. It's like sort of a cornerstone in trauma-based healing. And he showed us that the trauma lives in our body. It doesn't just live in our memories, and it incorporates EMDR, which has decades of research supporting its effectiveness for trauma processing. What I'm offering is science. It's evidence-based, and it truly is what works. So, we've been on a little bit of a journey together. We've talked about what's happening in your body. We've talked about the mistakes that keep people stuck, and we've talked about the framework that actually works. Now, I want to share with you how you can actually use this framework, how you can take everything that we've covered today and put it into practice in your own life. Because understanding is one thing, but having a roadmap you can actually follow, that is something else entirely. It's power. So I've taken these three phases that we've been talking about, everything that we've been talking about today, and I put it together over the course of basically I put it together over the course of several years, and then it really came together over the course of a couple months, like in a more formalized way. And I named it aptly Surviving Betrayal, Finding Safety and Stability After an Affair. So I thought it was important that it was self-paced because so many people who I worked with like raced through some parts of it and then they spent longer in other parts, just depending on like where they were in their healing, what their body needed, what their relationships needed. Um, and the course is really tailored for anybody recovering from infidelity. I think it was because all of the resources in the course, basically, I pulled them together through all the different resources I've compiled like over my 15 years of working with clients. And I just like pulled the ones that had the most impact. And all the people that I worked with were in very different stages of recovery, and the infidelity also looked pretty different. So, whether you're staying, whether you're leaving, or even if you're still deciding, like if you're ambivalent, this would be appropriate. Because honestly, you don't have to know what you want to do about your relationship to start healing yourself. I I went back and forth. So I had a shortened version, like 3 months, 90 days. And then I had a super long version, which felt redundant. But I ended up landing when I really pruned this, thinking of you. I pruned it into 12 months in three distinct phases. So it's really comprehensive. And what I've learned is that people will pick certain parts that really resonate for them over the course of 12 months. Even though this was really curated for my therapy practice, this course is actually not therapy and it doesn't need to be. It's comprehensive education. So it includes like my highest yield evidence-based tools and practices that you can start using right away. And again, if you're trying to save the relationship, we have things obviously for you here. If you're trying to leave it, similarly. Or if you're ambivalent trying to figure it out, you will benefit from what's offered because ultimately this is about getting in touch with yourself so you can move forward in the way that feels aligned for who you are and what you're wanting for your life and for your family. So let's talk about who this is actually for. So you are a great fit if one, you're staying in your relationship, you're leaving, or you really don't have any idea. You don't need to have that figured out. Two, timing is important, right? If the betrayal happened 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago, the timing doesn't matter. We have tools here for across the length of any timeline. And that was really important to me. So, like, if you're in the immediate aftermath, or years later, you figured out that, oh my goodness, I tried to heal from this and it didn't really work, and I'm coming back at it. I have tailored this for you as well. Three, and this was also super important to me. If you're working with a therapist, love that for you. Keep at it, particularly if that relationship is working for you. And sometimes when people are in therapy, they don't know what to do in the days between therapy. They're like writing their therapist emails, maybe they're finding resources online. This is helpful to work if you're working with a therapist and you can use this in between sessions and also to sort of frame your own therapy with your therapist. So you might also just be navigating this on your own because maybe therapy isn't accessible or it doesn't feel right for you right now. I have designed this to meet you exactly where you are and walk alongside of you across these phases of healing at a pace that actually works for you, not some arbitrary timeline that doesn't really match your life or your body. So, phase one is stabilization. This is where we build your foundation. You'll get nervous system education. You will actually understand what's happening in your body and why. You'll get grounding and regulation practices that you can use anytime, anywhere. Sleep protocols, rumination management techniques. I offer boundary setting frameworks that actually work and the complete foundational toolkit. So, everything you need to really stabilize your nervous system if you're feeling like your body is out of control, out of your control. This is again the cast for your broken body. This is what lets everything else become possible. It's foundational. Then we move to phase two. This is where the deeper work happens. You're learning how to actually process and integrate what's happened, not just understand it intellectually, but help your brain and body metabolize it. You'll work with all the conflicting parts of yourself that feel at war with each other. You'll build like real self-compassion, like not the fake, like, oh, I'm going to do affirmations and be kind to myself. And yes, love affirmations, love being kind to yourself. And I want more for you than just those things. I want you to have deep compassion for what you've been through in a way that actually propels you forward. The deep kind of compassion that actually changes how you relate to your core sense of self. You will learn how to make meaning of this experience without letting it wholly define you. And you will do body-based practices that help release the trauma stored in your tissues. Because talking alone, it's not going to get you out of this. So this part is where the trauma stops being stuck in your body and it actually starts moving through your body. This is where I love the end of phase 2 because this is where people start saying, I feel relief. Like I am actually feeling this work through me on me and through me. It's the relief is palpable at this point. Phase 3 is where you really start to reclaim yourself. You'll work through trust building practices. And we start with trust with yourself because that's the foundation of everything. You'll go through identity reconstruction, future self visioning, really exploring who you want to be on the other side of this. Also, I love this part for you. There's a values clarification process to figure out what actually matters to you right now. Because the values that you once held, you may be rethinking, you may be revisiting, and that can feel upending. It can feel like you're lost at sea. We will reclarify your values together. We'll also share post-traumatic growth practices, like discovering what this experience, as awful as it's been, has actually cracked open in you and for you. And then it goes without saying, a relationship decision-making framework. I want you to be able to make clear decisions from a regulated grounding place, not from panic or desperation. This is where you step back into your life with agency and with choice. So every single week of this program includes video lessons. It's where I actually walk you through the concepts. So you're learning directly from me. You'll get guided audio practices that are about 20 to 30 minutes, things that you can actually do, not hours of homework or readings. And you'll get worksheets to track your progress so you can see how far you've come along the way. Everything I've done is designed to be digestible. Even when your concentration is totally shot and you can't focus on anything for more than 5 minutes. Most of the daily practices, like one thing that I definitely heard from my own clients over these last 15 years is like they can't focus on things for more than a few minutes, particularly in the early stages of healing. And so I listened to that. I honored it. Like most of these daily practices take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, and you can totally break these up throughout the day, which is important. You know, you might need 5 minutes in the morning and then you go through your day and you're doing okay. And then bam, like one of those triggers comes and you need another piece of support. That's what I want for you. I want you to have something readily available for all those in between moments where your therapist isn't there, where your best friend is in a meeting, where your partner has kind of missed the mark in supporting you. Like, I want you to have that safety raft in a way. Um, and of course, you choose the most relevant practices and activities, and then you just save the rest for later. I really designed this program this way because I know that you do not have endless time and energy right now. This is designed for real life, like for where you actually are. So when you enroll today, you'll receive 3 bonuses designed to support you in your hardest moments. This was also hard for me to figure out what to include here because I have a lot of resources that I wish I could just share with you all at once. And I also know that I need to pick the ones that are going to be the absolute most high yield for you because you deserve that. And you don't have a lot of energy and you don't have a lot of time. So here's what I came up with. And here's what I'm offering you. So, five kind of what I call SOS, audio guided practices. I wrote them and narrated them because I didn't want to outsource that. I wanted you to hear directly from me what I was thinking, and I wanted you to hear it in my own voice. I wrote these for you, and each one is under 5 minutes. I have had clients tell me that they use these like at 2 in the morning when they just like wake up and they're just spiraling and no one is awake and they don't want to go online and they don't want to go on Reddit. They're just like, you know what? I'm going to put this reasonable, logical, calming thing in. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to move through this. They use it in moments of sheer panic, moments when, you're about, think about those moments when you're like, okay, let me just check the phone one more time. Let me just check the location. Let me check it. No, it's like you take a pause, you put on the SOS guided audio, take a breath, and then you make your choice from a place of discernment. So anytime, anywhere support when you need it the most. Remember that Pima Chodron, the concept of the pause, that moment when you're triggered and you have a choice. You can react from your wound, or you can pause and you can respond from your wisest self. This emergency regulation kit, it teaches you how to find like that pause, that moment between the trigger and the reaction. Bonus number two are conversations that matter. So these are actual scripts for the difficult conversations that you need to have with your partner, with your kids, with family members who kind of like sense that something's wrong. They're asking questions and you don't fully know how to answer. This is not what to decide. It's how to communicate clearly when you're healing. What I imagine you are smart people, like you know what you want to say, but you're not quite sure how to say it or what to leave out, maybe what to keep in. These scripts will help you like really get in touch with your voice, and give you some guidance and guidelines. Bonus number three is a personal Q&A with me. Um, I will admit, this is one of my favorite parts of running these webinar masterclass is it's strange to like talk into this camera and see there's so many of you listening. I have no idea who is on the other side of this. And I get to communicate with 10 of you, which I'm so excited about. So this is something super special for those of you who are actually here and watching. So if you enroll by midnight tonight, you get this. I want to say I get this opportunity. We get this opportunity. You can submit one personal question about your specific betrayal recovery situation. You can do it through email, and I will personally share. You can do it through video, you can do it through voice note, or you can do it in writing. I am super game to meet you where you are and how you want to communicate this part of your story. And then I will personally share an email response written just for you, addressing your unique circumstances. And I'll give you some strategies tailored specifically to what you're going through. This is the same level of personalized expertise that I provide for clients, coaching clients in my practice. And people pay a lot of money. They pay $600 plus for private consultation. And I would be so honored and excited to offer that to the people who are here and wanting to sign up and ready to go and have a question that they want to think through with me. Because I'm only one human being, one mere mortal in this life, I can only offer this to 10 people. And so I'm going to offer it to the 10 people who enroll first. And then after that, poof, the bonus is gone. So if you're feeling that pull, if you're feeling that resonance, this is your moment. Just to say, to level with you, like these three bonuses alone are worth almost $1,000, $944, and they're yours totally free when you enroll today. So, because I want you to feel completely confident in this investment, I am offering a 14-day healing journey guarantee. Here's how it works. You're going to get phase one, and you'll work through the modules 1 through 3 within your first 2 weeks, 14 days. Give yourself that time to like really engage with the material. And if after going through those first 3 modules, you feel that the program is not aligned with where you are in your journey, it is so okay. All you do is you email me hello@drcammy.com. I will jump on a phone call with you. I want to understand what's working. And this is really just so I can have an understanding on where there may be a gap in the program and to see if there's any ways that I can support you differently, and kind of fill that gap, like reduce the delta. And if we can't find a way forward together, we'll do a full refund in 48 hours. Absolutely no hard feelings for me. I get it. I've been there. So, because let's be for real, for me, your healing matters more than a sale, right? Like I got into this work to help people heal. And if you enroll, you try it out, and you're just like, Cammy, it's not for me. Okay, like that's fine. And part of the reason is like why I can offer this guarantee is because I believe in this program. I've seen it work in my practice. I've been doing it for many, many years, and I'm confident in what I've produced, and I want to share it with you. I also know you have to experience the value for yourself. And this guarantee, I want this to feel like a safety net. Like this doesn't have to feel like a big risk that you're taking, you know? You're already taking so many big risks. I don't want this to be another big risk that leaves you feeling scared. Let me just share one example of someone who's actually worked through the program. And please remember, this is just one person's experience. It's not a guarantee of any specific outcomes, but it's like it's an illustrative story. So, Sarah enrolled in Surviving Betrayal 2 months after discovering her husband's affair. And she told me, I was checking his phone every night. I wasn't sleeping. I have a really big job. I make a lot of decisions, but I didn't even trust myself to pick what I wanted to eat for lunch. Never mind, do my job, raise my kids, all the other things I needed to do. Within the first month of just working through phase one, Sarah was sleeping through the night without checking phones. By month 9, she told me, I finally found my intuition again. I finally trust my gut. Whether we stay together or not, I know I'm going to be okay. I feel like myself again. I'm strong. I'm clear. I'm back to being me. That's what she told me. And she learned something crucial. This is also really important. I wish I had said this earlier. You don't suddenly wake up healed. Like it's not like a lightning bolt that just like comes down. Like I'm over it. I'm done. Like that this is not it. It's like people wake up. You wake up one day and then you think, "Oh my goodness, like I went 5 minutes without thinking about the betrayal." And then you go an hour, and then a morning. And then all of a sudden, like the trauma stops being the main character in your story. It just becomes a chapter. And that's what this program does. It gives you back the story of your life. Like you are the main character. I want you back in that role, main character energy. I want to give that opportunity to you. When I think about this program, yes, like there's a financial investment. I also think the real cost isn't the $495, $7 investment. I think the real cost is like considering what happens if you don't heal this trauma with or without this course. I also want to be sure you hear this. I believe in my program 100%. And hear this. This program is not the only way to heal. At the end of the day, I want you to leave here knowing healing is possible. Whether it's through this program or another path, you've got this. You can do it and you deserve it. Again, another philosopher, Soren Kierkegaard, who wrote, Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. So right now, you're trying to understand backwards what happened, why it happened, how you missed it. That work is super important. I don't want to discourage that. But friends, like you also have to live forwards as well. They have to co-occur. You have to be able to hold that dialectic. You have to look backwards and you also have to live forwards. Because the cost of waiting, it's really not financial. It's your peace of mind. It's your sleep. It's your ability to trust yourself, your capacity for joy and connection, the quality of every future relationship you'll ever have. I think that's what's actually at stake here in this moment for you. So, here's what I want you to ask yourself. Are you ready to learn how to feel safe in your own body again? Are you in a place where you want to understand the principles that can help you rest again, sleep and otherwise? Are you wanting to rebuild trust in your own judgment through exercises, practice, and evidence-based education? Do you want to make decisions about your relationship from strength instead of panic? Are you ready to heal? Whether you stay, leave, or are still deciding, if the answer is yes, let me break this down for you. Again, knowledge is power. So here is the breakdown for this course. You can pay in full for $497. That is absolutely your best value. I also understand you may be ambivalent. Maybe that doesn't feel quite right today. You can do a payment plan, $47 a week for 12 weeks. Either way, today, right now, you'll get immediate access to phase one, and you'll get the emergency regulation kit as soon as you enroll. So you can really start this work tonight. Now, I also have something special for those of you who are here live tonight that I talked about earlier. The first 10 who enroll after you join, you'll be able to submit one question about your specific situation, your specific circumstances. You can do it through video, through voice note, or through writing, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And I have time set aside to sit down and really reflect, get in my own personal space to be there for you. And I will personally respond, a detailed response specifically to you about your situation. It's not going to be a general random answer. It's not a template. It's a response that actually addresses what you're going through with the same depth and attention you'd receive in a private consultation. So this is yours free. This is a $600 value just for you for the first 10 people to enroll tonight. So again, I am just one human being and I can only do this for 10 people. So once those 10 spots are gone, poof, that bonus is gone. So if something has resonated and you're feeling this pull, this is the moment to act on it. We're going to put the link to enroll in the chat right now. And I hope you consider it. If the answer is yes, if you're ready to invest today, then Surviving Betrayal, it was designed for you. It was designed for you to feel safe in your own body again, to sleep through the night, to rebuild trust in your own judgment, to heal. Whether you stay, whether you leave, whether you're still deciding, if that's a yes, like if you want those things, I've built this just for you. So another one of my favorite poets, you are probably gleaning. I love reading poetry. I love reading philosophy. It is absolutely a pastime for me. Nayyirah Waheed said, and here you are, living, despite it all. You showed up today, and that is a clear demonstration of your strength and your commitment. You are living, despite it all. You're here, you're learning, you're trying, you're surviving. And now it's time. I am declaring it on for all of us. It's time to move from surviving to healing, from living despite it all to living because of it all. Because you choose yourself, because you did the work, because you refused to let this wound, this betrayal, this trauma define the rest of your life. This is you choosing yourself. This program provides structure, provides guidance, and evidence-based principles that you can actually apply to your unique situation. This is you choosing yourself. This is you saying, I deserve to feel safe again. I deserve access to education that can support my healing. I deserve to reclaim my life from this trauma, from this betrayal, from this wound. That's what that's what I that's what I created this program to offer. You can click the link below to enroll, choose your payment option, and start now. This is your invitation to come home to yourself once again. You deserve it. I am here for you, and the program is ready. I want to thank you so much for being here today. And most of all, I want to thank you for believing in yourself. I want you to remember and be so present to your remarkable power to heal. And I I'm with you. My energy, my heart, and my spirit is with each and every one of you.
Oh, thank you so, so much, Dr. Cammy. Hello, everybody.